The derby giant eland and common eland are the largest antelopes, sharing similar characteristics yet displaying remarkable differences in size, coloration, and physical features. Here's their differences. Common eland, Taurotragus oryx. The common eland features shorter, more loosely spiraled horns with typically one complete twist. Horn length ranges from 43 to 66 centimeters, 17 to 26 inches, in males, appearing more slender and less dramatically twisted, with moderate ridging near the base. Common eland, Taurotragus oryx. The common eland features shorter, more loosely spiraled horns with typically one complete twist. Horn length ranges from 43 to 66 centimeters, 17 to 26 inches, in males, appearing more slender and less dramatically twisted, with moderate ridging near the base. The derby giant eland exhibits a powerfully built, robust frame with pronounced muscular development across the shoulders and hindquarters. They stand 145 to 165 centimeters, 1.4 to 1.6 meters, at the shoulder and weigh 500 to 1,000 kilograms, 1,100 to 2,205 pounds, with exceptional specimens exceeding 1,200 kilograms, 2,646 pounds. The body is barrel-shaped with a deep chest cavity. Their base coat presents a rich tawny rufous to chestnut brown coloration, becoming darker and more saturated with age, particularly in mature bulls, which develop a slate gray to almost blackish coloration on the neck and forequarters. The common eland displays a somewhat lighter, less massively constructed build, though still impressively large. Bulls measure 140 to 160 centimeters, 55 to 63 inches, at the shoulder, weighing 400 to 900 kilograms, 882 to 1,900 pounds. Cows are considerably smaller at 125 to 153 centimeters, 49 to 60 inches, and 350 to 700 kilograms, 770 to 1,500 pounds. Their coat presents a paler fawn to tan coloration, occasionally with a grayish tinge. Mature bulls develop a blue-gray coloration on the neck region, though less extensively dark than giant elands. The derby giant eland's face exhibits distinctive white chevron markings between the eyes, with 12 to 15 narrow vertical white stripes running down the cheeks and muzzle. A prominent white patch marks the forehead, creating a striking mask-like appearance. The muzzle is dark with lighter borders. Ears are large, rounded, and broadly spaced, measuring 18 to 22 centimeters, 7 to 9 inches, in length, with dark tips and lighter inner surfaces lined with white or pale buff hairs. The common eland's facial markings are less pronounced, featuring 6 to 10 fainter white vertical stripes on the face with less contrast against the base coat. The white chevron between eyes is present but narrower. The muzzle is lighter overall. Ears are proportionally smaller at 15 to 18 centimeters, 6 to 7 inches, appearing more oval-shaped and closer together, with brownish tips and buff-colored inner surfaces. A prominent black dorsal crest extends from the nape of the neck along the spine to the rump of the giant eland, composed of straight bristly hairs measuring 10 to 15 centimeters, 4 to 6 inches, in length. This mane is particularly luxuriant and dramatic in mature bulls, creating a distinctive ridgeline silhouette. The mane remains straight even at rest. The common eland's dorsal mane is considerably shorter and less developed, consisting of sparse black hairs 5 to 8 centimeters, 2 to 3 inches, long running along the spine. The crest is less pronounced and often barely visible in females and younger animals, appearing more as a slight ridge than a conspicuous mane. Giant eland bulls undergo conspicuous color transformation with maturity, developing dark slate gray to blackish necks, shoulders, and forequarters, contrasting sharply with tawny hindquarters. A distinct color demarcation line appears along the body. Mature bulls may appear almost entirely dark from certain angles. Cows retain the lighter rufous-brown coloration throughout life, though they darken slightly with age, maintaining more uniform body coloration. Common eland bulls develop a blue-gray neck and shoulder coloration, but retain more of the tan body color beneath, creating less dramatic contrast. The color change is gradual rather than sharply demarcated. Females maintain fawn to tan coloration throughout life, with minimal darkening, appearing consistently paler than giant eland cows across all age classes. The pelage consists of short, dense, smooth-lying hairs across the body, approximately 1.5 to 2 centimeters, 0.6 to 0.8 inches, in length. The coat is notably sleek and glossy, particularly in prime condition, with a slight oily sheen. Hair texture is fine but dense, providing excellent thermoregulation. The coat remains relatively uniform in texture except for the bristly dorsal mane and dewlap fringe. Common eland's hair is slightly shorter at 1 to 1.5 centimeters, 0.4 to 0.6 inches, with a similar smooth-lying pattern. The coat appears somewhat less shiny, with a matte finish rather than glossy sheen. Texture is slightly coarser overall, particularly noticeable in older animals. The giant eland's tail measures 65 to 90 centimeters, 26 to 35 inches, with a dark brown to black switch of long, coarse hairs at the terminal tuft. The upper tail surface is rufus-brown matching body color, while the terminal 20 to 30 centimeters features the distinctive black brush. The common eland's tail length ranges 50 to 70 centimeters, 20 to 28 inches, with a black terminal tuft. The switch is less bushy and shorter than in giant elands. The giant eland's legs display distinctive coloration, with rufus-brown upper portions transitioning to darker brown or blackish coloring on the lower legs and pasterns. Knees feature prominent dark patches. The hooves are black and robust, measuring 10 to 12 centimeters, 4 to 5 inches, in length. White bands or garters often encircle the legs just above the hooves, creating striking contrast. The cannon bones are notably thick and heavily built. The common eland's legs are uniformly tan to fawn-colored without dramatic darkening toward the hooves. White leg markings are less pronounced or absent. Hooves are dark brown to black, measuring 8 to 10 centimeters, 3 to 4 inches, appearing more refined and less massive than giant eland hooves. The giant eland's body features 12 to 15 narrow, crisp vertical white stripes running down the torso from spine to belly. These stripes remain distinct and clearly visible throughout life, maintaining sharp definition against the darker body coloration. Common elands have vertical body stripes numbering 6 to 10 and are often faint or absent in adults, particularly bulls. When present, stripes appear wider and less clearly defined than in giant elands. Giant elands have impressive pendulous dewlap that extend from the throat to the brisket, measuring 30 to 45 centimeters, 12 to 18 inches, in depth on mature bulls. The dewlap is covered with long, shaggy dark hairs forming a distinctive fringe. This throat extension is pronounced in both males and females, but reaches maximum development in bulls, creating a dramatic profile. The dewlap sways noticeably during locomotion. The dewlap of common elands are present but considerably smaller, measuring 15 to 25 centimeters, 6 to 10 inches, in depth. Hair covering is shorter and less profuse, creating a less substantial appearance. The structure is less pendulous and closer to the throat, particularly noticeable when comparing mature bulls